YouTube is constantly making changes. Sometimes they're making changes to the algorithm and sometimes they're adding new features. But there has been one feature that users have been requesting for years and YouTube has basically ignored them, well, until now. There's a new feature on YouTube and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Video Creator Show. My name is Augie Johnston. I'm here with my co-host Grant Ball. And just like I said, we're going to be talking about this brand new feature. What's the feature? Well, it's A/B thumbnail testing that you can get access to on tools like TubeBuddy, and there's a few other tools out there as well that do it. But now it's going to be baked into YouTube, into YouTube Studio, so that you can upload actually up to 3 thumbnails is kind of how it's set up. And YouTube will start, showing your video and showing those thumbnails and giving you impressions equally on each different thumbnail. And then eventually, once it has enough statistical evidence, enough impressions, it'll pick a winner. And that's going to help a lot. And Grant, I know we talked a little bit before this and you were kind of just starting to hear about this, but what is the benefit of A/B testing thumbnails?
There is a huge benefit. And what it is being able to try 2 thumbnails at once and being able to run a test and get actual data on which thumbnail performs better. So for instance, let's say one thumbnail, it's your face with big text and some kind of, there's like an explosion in the middle, just idea 1. And then idea 2 is maybe something more subdued. It's just maybe some text with your face and there's not an explosion. Instead, there's just a small embering fire. It's more chill and you want to know like which performs better. Do people like the intense image or the more relaxed one? And so the way A/B tests work, you can choose an amount of time. So it could be 3 days, and every 12 hours it will switch between those 2 thumbnails. Or it'll be for 3 days it's one thumbnail, for 3 days it's another, and then it gets back to you with the click-through rate and the overall performance of each thumbnail. And this is huge. It allows you to hone in on a style that really works. It can determine an entirely new visual direction for your brand, for your channel. And usually the tool that you would use this, TubeBuddy, it's about $200 a year, I believe. So, this is a big cost-cutting thing as well. It's not just performance. You're actually saving money. And I feel like this is probably the beginning of what YouTube is trying to do, which is kind of taking a lot of the tools that we use, vidIQ, for tags and titles and things like that, and trying to incorporate them into the platform itself to just keep making it more and more the best option compared to other social media companies, just offering as many tools for creators as possible. So they're rolling this out. And you said there was limitations on this right now too, right? It was 15,000 creators can use it?
Yeah, they haven't rolled it out to every single creator yet, but in time they will. And I'm going to go ahead and just read through a little bit about exactly how it works, because you talked about, you can do it based on number of impressions or days. And the good news with it baked into YouTube, they're going to do it right. Like you're actually going to get real statistical evidence because, running a test on one thumbnail for 2 weeks and then another thumbnail for another 2 weeks, to me, isn't the best way to do it because, you're getting different number of impressions at different times, maybe it's being shown to different audiences and that can all affect it. But the main benefit here for our new YouTube creators is that you want to have a high click-through rate on your thumbnails and your titles, right? You want those to get impressions, meaning you want those thumbnails to show to different users and you want them to click on it because that's part of the algorithm and getting suggested out to different people is if you have a high click-through rate, you're more likely to do that. Thumbnail A/B tester, ABC tester, whatever you want to call it. It's a great feature and it's something that if you want to learn more about kind of the ins and outs of how it works, we'll link to it below this YouTube video, and make sure you guys check out the YouTube video and subscribe while you're there, and you can check out exactly how it's going to work. Now, I want to kind of move on to another feature that has recently been released on YouTube, and that's the For You, I don't know what you want to call it, a shelf. It's the For You shelf. So when you click onto a YouTube channel, there's now like these videos that it's going to recommend you from that channel that you just clicked on, and it says For You. What For You is kind of like this new phenomenon that's like we're seeing on all the social media platforms, right? You go to Twitter, It's for you. So you might follow 100 different people and then on your For You page only see, stuff pop up from maybe 50 of those people, and the other 50, as you scroll through 100 tweets, are being recommended, people that you haven't followed, but people that the algorithm thinks you would be interested in. I don't know if I'm right on this, but I think was TikTok the first place to have a For You feed, Grant?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Okay, what an innovation, man. Good for them.
I know. Like, it's, they were the first ones, I think, to really own the idea of their algorithm. And, Facebook, even in the 20 teens or something, I remember introduced the Facebook feed, which was sort of inspired by the Instagram feed, I believe. But companies have been playing with this idea of in algorithmically generated feed for a long time. But TikTok, I feel like the phrase "for you," it came from TikTok, absolutely, and it did it in a way that was clearly better than any other company had done it previously. It was just so good at delivering things to you that you actually liked. The millennials and Gen Z really like exited Facebook, I think, for this reason. It just wasn't a good experience. Whereas TikTok it's addictive, but it is fun, and there's a reason it's addictive. Facebook, I wouldn't even call addictive at this point. It's just so unenjoyable. So yeah, For You came from TikTok. Because they did such a good job with it. So now it's on YouTube. I'm not surprised. It's become a phenomenon. Every company wants a For You page now.
And I think it's good for creators, right? Because it's more discoverability, right? You like on Twitter back in the day, there wasn't this For You section. So, you had to get tagged or someone had to retweet something in order for you to see it. And then maybe you click on their profile and you go and follow them. When now it's the algorithm saying, oh, you're interested in weightlifting. You watch a lot of weightlifting videos. Here's a couple of weightlifting videos from creators you've never even heard of. That allows them to get discovered. So overall, it's a good thing. And also it's good for user experience, right? You're getting, as long as the algorithm's good, you're getting recommended new content from people you've never seen that you enjoy, that is aligned with the topics you like. Now we're seeing it on YouTube. What are your thoughts of it being used on YouTube now?
Yeah, so like you said, you think it's good for creators. I tend to lean more in the opposite direction. I think there's something healthy about that old subscribe feed model where you subscribe to somebody and, they appear on your feed no matter what. And this has been a long time, but YouTube has gradually moved away from that, in starting like even 10 years ago. That has sort of been an issue for a while. I think the For You algorithm, it can lead to discoverability, but I think it also ends up making people depend more on appealing to the algorithm. And you have people like the Try Guys who kind of launched their own platform, and they're actually finding that types of things that do really badly on YouTube perform the best on their own platform. So it's kind of like, yes, it's good because you can get discovered more, but I think it does end up kind of making things more generic because you have to appeal to an algorithm instead of that sort of organic growth. Like, people subscribe to you like a newspaper. It comes to your house every day. It's kind of a big deal. Now a subscription, it almost just is kind of telling the algorithm, recommend this to me more. Like, we've gotten further and further away from that. And For You feels like another step in the opposite direction of that to me.
Cool. Let's shift our topic a little bit, and let's talk a little bit about some tools. Okay, I want to show you 3 tools that creators should be using. This is the viewstats.com tool. This is the new tool that Mr. Beast came out with. And kind of my best explanation for it is that it is like a competitor to Social Blade. Like, that's kind of how people are describing it. And it allows you to search up a channel and you can see all their views. You can see a lot. I messed around with it a couple of weeks ago, and now I can't remember all of the features, but I know you got it up on your screen right now, Grant.
Yeah, I do.
What is one of your impressions? What's your first impression of this?
So my first impression is it feels a lot better than Social Blade. We're having technical difficulties, so I won't share my screen. But my first impression is it feels better than Social Blade, for sure. Like, it is more responsive. It feels cleaner. Social Blade also had a lot of like weird wonky looking data. Like it would just have entire categories that you could just tell it was not correct. Like it would be all zero or just weird numbers. You're like, what is that doing there? But at least at first glance, I'm not seeing anything like that. This does just feel like a better version of Social Blade. So, okay, Mr. Beast, doing more good things. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yep. And probably another one of his best business moves, in my opinion, because this is software. You know, the headache of Feastables is probably very challenging to get the inventory and manage the production and all that kind of stuff. This is software. People, you can sell it over and over and over again. You need a little bit of a development team, a small development team, and then you can sell it's $50 a month, I think. And software companies have great multiples when you exit, when you sell them. So this thing, I think, will be sold for $1 billion someday when he does sell it. Mr. Beast is very savvy. And I just went and searched up a YouTube channel on here called Daily Dose of Internet. Have you ever heard of Daily Dose of Internet, Grant?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this thing right here, 18 million subscribers, 10 billion views. This YouTube channel has. This is insane, dude. 450 in the last 28 days, 453 million views.
Whew.
300,000 subscribers added. That's crazy.
That's pretty good. That's not bad.
And the funny thing is, they just like Social Blade, they have the estimated revenue, which on Social Blade, for this channel, the range would have been like $10,000 a month to $25 million a month,
Right.
The range on Social Blade's crazy. Here it says 123,000 to 348,000 a month.
Okay. That seems more normal. Like it's still a pretty big range. Like now I'm looking at Sniper Wolf. She was one of the featured people on there. I'll see between 10,000 and 27,000 a month, 12,000 and 33,000. So like, the ranges are still pretty big, but they still do feel better.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, they're getting insight from a lot of YouTube experts here. I don't know where Social Blade gets that insight from, but I think Mr. Beast has the knowledge. So yeah, it's cool. I'm looking under more tools on there too. And there's some other tools there. One of the tools is actually VidSummit, his conference. There's a Chrome extension, all that kind of stuff. So Grant, do you see yourself ever spending $50 a month for this though?
Probably not. I mean, the free version, I feel like, yes. I would have to look into more about what that is getting me. I just I'm skeptical of anything that is that expensive. That feels expensive to me. Like 50 a month. I mean, geez, it's just, I'd have to look into it more. But at first glance, no, I would probably not.
Yeah, so if you're watching this right now and you've never checked it out, head over to viewstats.com after this video. We'll link it below as well, and you can just look through it yourself and figure out if it's a useful tool. All right, and the third and final tool, this is kind of a little bit of a easy one. It's ChatGPT, man. My question is, everyone's heard of it, everybody knows about it. Like, do you use ChatGPT when helping clients and all that?
So I don't use ChatGPT. I use Claude.ai. So it's the exact same idea, right? But I use Claude. I find it's really good for titles and descriptions, and I just feel like it gives me the results I'm really looking for. The paid version of ChatGPT also works well, but this could just be my experience, but yeah, I like Claude. It's $20 a month, and I generally use that when I'm either working on my own channel or working with clients. Claude's the way to go, in my opinion, for YouTube specifically.
Nice. And how do you spell Claude?
Claude. Claude.
.ai.
.ai, yeah.
Okay, nice. And for ChatGPT, what I've seen is, it's good for brainstorming, coming up with topics, titles and stuff, but I've never quite nailed the titles. Maybe it's just because everyone has their own title preference. From what I'm seeing, like a typical ChatGPT title is going to be like a small phrase with a colon and then a phrase after it.
Always
so you know what
I'm
talking about.
Always with the colons. And Claude does that too. So I generally will use AI as inspiration. Like it'll generate 20 titles and there will be like 3 of them with like little phrases or something where I'm like, oh, that's good. and then I'll kind of build off that. And so it's never like it spits out the perfect title and then I use it. I guess maybe that does occasionally happen, but usually it is kind of a human robot collaboration. And it's all about, to me, it's almost not even about the one that can generate the most perfect titles without my help. It's more the one that throws out the ideas I never would have thought of, even if they're kind of buried in, like, if half the title sucks, but the first half is genius, I'm like, oh, that's good. Like, as long as there's enough gold to shit ratio, like, I want gold. Like, I'm okay with a good amount of just BS, but I want some gold, you know?
Dude, I've never heard somebody explain it like that, but that is exactly what it is. Like, you might try to get a title or a script or something out of ChatGPT and just get all frustrated and be like, nah, it's just garbage. But like, dude, it's happening in like 30 seconds. You're getting all this stuff. You can get like 20 scripts. You could ask it for 20 scripts, all written differently. And yeah, a lot of them are going to be crap, but some will be good. And those are the usable ones. So I do like that strategy and that thought. It's like, don't go to get one title, go to get 20 titles, and then you'll find the 3 that you want to roll with. So that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's like I would prefer one title where the first half of it is amazing than 20 titles and all of them are like just okay. Like one half of a title that's great and the other 19 are awful is so much better than 20 mediocre titles or like titles that are just okay. I guess I'm kind of looking for it to get creative for me so that I can like resonate off of its creativity, if that makes sense. Like, I don't need somebody to come up with YouTube gold standard titles. I can do that myself. That's easy. But I do want just crazy stuff. Like, yeah, I want that creativity.
Yeah, stuff you never thought of. That's great. I like that too, and that's exactly what it does. It has that creativity, and it's good for that. So, all right, there's 3 tools for you guys. I hope you guys actually go and check those out. And if you've played with ChatGPT a little bit in the past, like, go back and try it again. You're gonna get left behind if you are kind of have no idea how to prompt there. So, and we talked about a few other things in this episode. If you're watching on YouTube and you liked it, please hit subscribe. If you're listening on different platforms, you can follow us there as well. And with that said, let's go ahead and shut down today's episode. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.